Hello and welcome back to our Literate channels, UGC NET Literature Terms and Concepts series. Today, we are diving into one of the most sophisticated and intellectually demanding concepts in poetic analysis, a technique that has consistently challenged UGC NET candidates and continues to be a hallmark of advanced literary criticism. Prepare to master telescoping of images, the brilliant poetic device that T.S. Eliot identified and analyzed in his groundbreaking critical essays on Andrew Marvell's Horatian Ode. This sophisticated technique represents the pinnacle of metaphysical and modernist poetry craft and belongs to our essential poetic devices and forms cluster. In this comprehensive 5-minute analysis, you will unlock the precise definition and critical origins of this complex technique. T.S. Eliot's revolutionary insights into Marvell's poetic compression. You will find how metaphysical poets achieved unified sensibility through image telescoping. You will also find detailed analysis of Marvell's famous lines about Charles I's execution. You'll find in this video examples from Eliot's own The Wasteland and John Donne's Conceits. You'll find in this video the connection to new criticisms, close reading practices. At the end, you'll find a challenging quiz to test your analytical skills. You'll also find advanced insights for tackling UGC NET poetic devices questions. This isn't just another literary technique. It's a masterful compression method that separates amateur readers from sophisticated literary analysts. Understanding telescoping of images is crucial for anyone serious about metaphysical poetry, modernist techniques, and advanced poetic analysis. Don't miss this sophisticated literary exploration. Subscribe to Literate channel for more advanced poetic techniques that elevate your literary analysis and watch the complete video to fully grasp this complex and essential concept. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our expert breakdowns. Join us as we compress vast meanings into precise understanding. Let's examine telescoping of images. The phrase derives from the astronomical telescope's function of bringing distant objects into close proximity, analogous to how this poetic technique compresses multiple images or meanings into a tight poetic space. While the technique itself can be found in metaphysical poetry of the 17th century, the critical articulation of telescoping of images as a specific poetic device emerged in the early 20th century modernist period, particularly through T.S. Eliot's critical essays. T.S. Eliot first articulated this concept in his 1921 essay, Andrew Marvell, where he analyzed Marvell's extraordinary ability to compress multiple meanings and images into concise poetic expressions. Eliot's critical insights into this technique later influenced new criticisms, close reading practices, and attention to the dense layering of imagery in poetry. Simply put, telescoping of images refers to a poetic technique that compresses multiple images, ideas, or meanings into an extremely concentrated linguistic space, creating complex resonances and associations within a minimal textual framework. Key features of telescoping of images include compression of multiple distinct images into a single tight expression, creation of multi-layered meanings through economic use of language, condensation of temporal, spatial, or conceptual distance into immediate proximity, juxtaposition of seemingly unrelated elements to generate new significance, semantic density that rewards repeated reading and careful analysis, strategic ambiguity that allows multiple interpretations to coexist, often manifests in striking metaphors or compressed similes. For UGC NET, remember that Eliot valued this technique as exemplifying what he called the unified sensibility of metaphysical poetry, where thought and feeling concrete and abstract, are perfectly fused. Let's explore how the concept of telescoping of images has been employed in poetry and critical theory. In his essay on Andrew Marvell, T.S. Eliot specifically addresses Marvell's Horatian ode upon Cromwell's return from Ireland, noting how Marvell compresses historical, political, and ethical complexities into tightly constructed lines. Eliot writes, Marvel takes a slight affair, the feeling of a girl for her pet, and gives it a connection with the inexhaustible and terrible nebula of emotion which surrounds all our exact and practical passions and mingles with them. A prime example from Marvel's Horatian Ode is the famous description of Charles I at his execution. He nothing common did or mean upon that memorable scene, but with his keener eye the axe's edge did try. Here, Marvel telescopes the king's dignity, the historical moment, and the physical act of execution into four terse lines, creating what Eliot called a tough reasonableness beneath the slight lyric grace. Another example from the same poem is Marvel's description of Cromwell as the force of angry heaven's flame, which telescopes religious imagery, political power, and natural destruction into a single compact phrase. In Eliot's own poetry, The Wasteland demonstrates telescoping of images through lines like April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land, which compresses seasonal change, emotional pain, and resurrection imagery into a concentrated opening. John Donne's A Valediction Forbidding Mourning offers the metaphysical example. If they be two, they are two so, as stiff twin compasses are two. Telescoping, mathematical instruments, physical connection, spiritual bond, and the idea of constancy into a single conceit. Modern critics like Helen Wendler have expanded on Eliot's analysis, noting that telescoping of images creates what she calls a conceptual oxymoron, where disparate domains are forced into productive tension within minimal linguistic space. Now let's test your understanding with a quick quiz. According to T.S. Eliot's analysis of Marvel's poetic technique in the Horatian Ode, which statement is more accurate? Option A, Marvel's strength lies in his elaborate explanations and extended development of single images that clarify complex political situations. Option B, Marvel's genius consists in his ability to compress multiple meanings, historical complexities, and seemingly contradictory perspectives into tightly constructed economical expressions. Take a moment to think about it. You may pause the video if you want, and the answer is B. Eliot specifically praised Marvel's witty precision and ability to telescope complex historical and ethical matters into compact expressions with multiple resonances. In Eliot's view, this demonstrates a unified sensibility where intellect and emotion are perfectly integrated. Option A contradicts Eliot's analysis as he explicitly valued Marvel's compression and economy rather than elaboration or explanation. Remember, telescoping of images refers to the compression of multiple images into tight poetic space, as brilliantly analyzed by T.S. Eliot in the critical assessment of Marvel's poem. For your UGC NET exam, be prepared to identify this technique in metaphysical and modernist poetry. Questions shown in the video may or may not have been directly questioned in the UGC NET examination. I suggest and request that audience cross-verify the number of instances each term or concept appears. If there is an error, please check the description box for corrections. In our next video, we'll explore another important concept from our cluster. Thanks for watching Literate channel. Please feel free to comment below on any queries you may have about the terms in the video. See you in the next video. Happy learning.